My project was entitled Exploring Colonialism, Creativity, and Reconciliation with Skateboards. It was a project in which students explored Canada's colonial past. We took a look at things like treaty, the Indian Act. We looked at and explored a little bit about the National Inquiry about murdered and missing Indigenous women, and of course residential schools. So the idea behind it is looking at our colonial past and looking at the effects that it has had on Indigenous culture, and using that to kind of forge a path towards reconciliation. And so through this project, students attended workshops, and I had guest speakers come in to work with the students. We had an artist work with the student named John Cardinal. So he's a Cree artist, a local kind of hip young artist that is, his work's amazing. So I had him, the students work with him. I also had Joe Buffalo, who's a pro skater out of Maskwaci, Alberta, and now living in Vancouver, skates for Colonialism Skateboards. So he came out, told his story about residential schools and growing up in a residential school and its effects on him and finding the power of positivity through skateboarding and how he kind of overcame that past. And so we had a total of 17 skateboards, graphics that were designed by students, and that ultimately kind of culminated with a art show at a skate shop, Local 124 in Edmonton here. And so we had a demo by the Full Circle skateboard team. We had artists come out, we had Indigenous leaders come out and see what the students kind of did. So these are some of the boards that some of the students did. This one was done by a student named Alex. And Alex looked at the idea of residential schools. So you can kind of see here, we have kind of the pre-residential school and the post. And so that loss of that Indigenous culture. This was a board by a student, her name was Sparrow. And so she did a headdress. Her grandma attended residential school. And throughout this process, Sparrow kind of told us that story, and her grandma opened up a little bit about that. This one was done by a student named Layla. And so Layla, this was her exploring the Highway of Tears. These are some of the women that she kind of paid tribute to. The systemic racism that we see related to the Indigenous culture throughout history. And so some of the students were really kind of had their eyes opened through the stories of John, through the stories of Joe Buffalo, through the workshops that we had, and the readings that they did. So it was nice to see their perspective on that and what their learning was through the graphic design of the skateboard art, as well as allowing them to have a voice. The 17 skateboards that we had all had a different perspective or take on their educational kind of learning about Indigenous culture and our colonial past. And so, it came to life, so to speak, for them. It really made it relevant, the fact that it melded skateboards and history. And I don't think too many projects have done that. And so that's why we're so grateful, at least I'm so grateful for the inspiration of Michael Landing's work and Colonialism Skateboards. He does it way better, but, we're super proud of what we did as well.